Okay, we've been talking about writing for communication, writing for fluency, and today's focus is going to be on task-based short essay writing. Now, what we'll be doing is using an example, a communication exercise from the Cambridge ACAN, the preliminary examination writing test. And we'll be using this question, which is a question to communicate in writing and write about 35 to 45 words, a short communication for the test. Now, in past classes, we talked about fluency and accuracy. Let's look at that just one more time and see how that involves today's task-based writing. Now, fluency is our main focus for the first part of our class. Now, the most important thing about fluency is communication. It's informal for the most part. The content is more important than the style. It could be like writing to a friend, quickly giving information to someone, and meaning, the understanding of the communication. The meaning is more important than spelling and grammar. Your writing can have lots of mistakes, but as long as the reader can understand the message, you're okay. And when we check our writing, when we're involved in communication or fluency, we check our writing for meaning and correct information. Now, in the second half of our class, starting in about 3 weeks, we'll be talking about accuracy. And accuracy is more, we would say, like formal writing or something you write in a school essay or a business letter where you don't want to make mistakes. You want to have everything perfect. So school academic writing, official reports, it's very formal. Content and style are both important. So not just the message, but also the way you write the message. For example, if you're applying for a job, when you do your CV or rirexho in Japanese, you want to make sure that every Japanese character, every kanji character is perfect, 0 mistakes. That's accuracy. You have to carefully prepare a document, and spelling and grammar are as important as meaning. And when we edit for accuracy, we edit for grammar and style mistakes as well as for meaning. But today, we're mostly going to be thinking about fluency as our main focus. And to do that, we'll use this task. Let's take a minute and read the question. Okay, so for this question, we have several things that we have to do. We have a communication situation, and we get a message. We have a situation, and we have to ask a friend to help us by writing a note. What's the imaginary situation? Now, the key here is the word you. This is the imaginary situation. You are in this situation. Okay, imagine that you are going to take part in a skateboarding competition, but your skateboard is broken. Who are you writing to? You're writing a note to your friend Danny, so it can be a casual note. How are you communicating? You're writing a note. Now, it's not a line communication. It's like an email, but a note is usually on paper, but it could also be an email. So we have to follow the rules for writing notes. What do you have to write in your note? Well, you have to tell the situation, and you have to ask Danny 3 things, or tell Danny and ask Danny 3 things. Okay, what's the imaginary situation again? We talked about this a little bit. You are a skateboarder, okay? Imagine that you yourself are a skateboarder. You also have a skateboarding competition. Now, we don't know when it is, it doesn't say, but there's a skateboarding competition, but your skateboard is broken. Oh, what happened? How did it break? We don't know. We don't have a hint. That we have to make up an imaginary situation in our minds and pretend that's the real situation. Okay, who are you writing to? Again, we talked about this before. You're writing to your friend Danny. So it's casual. Now, how are you communicating? You're communicating with a note. So a note, you're going to write a note to your friend Danny. A note is casual because it's your friend Danny. And also a note has a style to it. A note will usually start off with Dear Danny. And then you'll have the message, the note text. And then after that, you'll end the note with your friend Bob, or a more formal note would be Sincerely Bob. These two things, the Dear Danny and your friend Bob. Now, notice I'm saying your friend Bob. My name is Bob. I'm imagining that I'm a skateboarder. Now, even though I'm 67 years old, I'm imagining I'm a skateboarder, I'm in a competition, I have a friend named Danny, and I'm asking my friend Danny for help. So always remember to put yourself into the situation when you're in a situation like this for practice communication or a test. Now, Dear Danny, your friend is not necessary. There are many different ways of doing a greeting in a note or a letter. Hello, Danny. Danny, long time no see. Danny, it's been a long time ago. Danny, nice to write to you again. Uh, uh, or just Danny is okay. But usually best traditional style is to use Dear Danny or Hello Danny in this case. And also, your friend Bob is a very traditional style of ending a note or letter, very casual. But it can also be Thanks, Bob. So there's no hard and fast rule. There's no decided rule about how to do this kind of thing. What do you have to write in the note? Well, of course, we have to write about the situation. We have to explain to Danny what's happening. And we also have to, because this is a test question, we have to explain to Danny or ask Danny 3 things. So your note should first explain the situation. And second, your message, your communication, your note should include these 3 points. Okay, now it's a note, so we need to have the usual note style. Salutation, always say, in Japanese we would say Aisatsu, and your friend, or thanks, or looking forward to hearing from you, or something like that. And also remember, this is an imaginary situation. You are going to take part. You are a skateboarder. So me, Bob Gettings, I'm a skateboarder. So you should sign this always in this kind of imaginary practice situation with your own name. Okay, next, explain the situation. So, dear Danny, I'm in a skateboard competition this weekend, but my skateboard just broke. Now, there's no 100% correct way or incorrect way to do this. The 2 important things to think about are to tell Danny that you're in a competition and your skateboard is broken. There's so many ways of saying this, but this is important for the communication because otherwise Danny won't know what you're asking about. Okay, next, if we look at these 3 things that the test question asks us to do, explain how your skateboard broke. Now, we don't know. There's nothing in the question that tells us how your skateboard broke. How did my skateboard break? I have no idea. So, but I am a skateboarder. I'm writing the letter. It's my situation. So I have to use my imagination. Okay. My skateboard. Oh, it broke. A truck came suddenly and ran over my skateboard. Okay, so yesterday I left my skateboard I left it by the side of the road and a truck ran over it. And next, I have to ask to borrow Danny's skateboard. That's pretty simple. Would you mind letting me borrow yours? Now you can say, would you mind letting me borrow your skateboard? Um, can I borrow your skateboard? There are many, many ways of saying this. Any way is okay. Don't worry about making mistakes. Only worry about communication. Does Danny understand what you want? Oh yeah, Danny knows that I need to borrow his skateboard. Next, say when you will need it. When do I need the skateboard? Oh, I need it for a skateboarding competition. When is that competition? Nothing in the question tells me. So again, this is an imaginary situation. I have to use my imagination. Uh, let's see. Oh, my skateboarding competition is this Saturday. I've decided from my imagination. So say when you will need it. I need your skateboard. I need it on Saturday from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Now it could be Monday or Thursday. It could be next week. It could, it should not be next year because the problem is your skateboard is broken and you can buy a new skateboard by next year. But any time that matches this situation, it's maybe an emergency. Suddenly, your skateboard is broken and the competition is probably soon. So anything that matches that is okay. So let's look again at this. First, a note. And we can see here, Dear Danny and your friend Bob. It has the style of a note. Situation. You're in a skateboarding competition. It's broken. And you can see here, I'm in a skateboard competition this weekend, but my skateboard is broke. Okay. Notice even here, I added some extra information that I thought of on my own. Explain how your skateboard broke. Oh, I left it by the side of a road and a truck ran over it. The truck destroyed it. Ask Danny to borrow his skateboard. Would you mind letting me borrow yours? Or would you mind letting me borrow your skateboard? Say when you need it. Tell Danny when you need it. I'd need it on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's it. Now, we're going to ask you to write some of this type of essay question, this type of communicative essay question. And after you write, you only have a short time, 10 minutes. But after you finish, check if you remembered to write something for each task in the question. Did you have Dear Danny plus thanks Bob? Did you describe the situation? And each question will have 3 things that you have to say or ask or explain. After you write, check the question and make sure your answer has all of those things. Good luck, and if you have any questions, as always, please contact me anytime.